Well, hi there, everybody. Rod Zundel here, along with the Director of Utah Tech Athletics, Ken Beazer. And Ken, today is a monumental day for Utah Tech Athletics and the entire Trailblazer Nation. Utah Tech has accepted an invitation to join the Big Sky Conference July 1st of next year, 2026. Ken, can you put this into words, what this means, first of all, to the Utah Tech Athletic family?
Yeah. Well, first, you said it's a big day, and it is. It's one of those days in the history of this institution. Obviously going Division I initially and joining the WAC, going back to transitioning to 4-year in Division II, and then all the times when the institution came on, we're adding sports. This is one of those days that will be forever in the history and annals of the history, not only the athletic department, but the university. And this is a big thing for the university and for the community. You're being recognized. You're being recognized as a viable Division I institution that is worthy to join one of these well-established conferences that reach out and say, come aboard with this. And so, anyway, the Big Sky has been here since 1960. That predates me and you, 1963.
By about a year or two.
Yeah, and they've been around that long, and they still have 5 of their original charter members, which tells you about the maturity and the stability of this conference.
Now, if you get down to the brass tacks of it, you've got regional rivalries now. Correct. And you have 2 in-state rivalries with this conference, Weber State and Southern Utah, who is also going with us to the Big Sky. So that brings everybody together, teams that people here in St. George and Utah Tech fans, they know about. They know which city they're in, unlike some of the other in the UAC.
Yeah, first and foremost, we're really grateful for what we had in the WAC. Mm-hmm. I mean, without the WAC, we're not Division I.
Yeah.
The WAC was what gave us that first portal to get into Division I, and we had a lot of good friends, a lot of good institutions there, and a great conference to be part of as we initially made the transition to Division I. But now transition to the Big Sky, you're right. Now these are household names. These institutions are household names that will be coming in here, and they're close. Yeah. A lot of opportunities for our fan base now to follow us, even to Pocatello. Yeah. I mean, Idaho State and Weber State and Ogden, of course, SUU, we've all enjoyed that rivalry that has come about through the WAC. I mean, that is truly one of the great rivalries in the state. Maybe not the volume that BYU and Utah have, but still, nonetheless, it has such a great regional implication for it. Right. So you're right. Idaho State, Weber State, SUU, and Northern Arizona. That's right there. It's I-15, and it's an easy drive.
Yeah. Now, when you look at that, in the past, in the football, the last couple of years, we've had to go to Arkansas, Kentucky, and this year we're going to Georgia. No more of that. I mean, these are all right in our almost our time zone, so that's going to cut down cost, travel time. Students can stay in school a little bit longer. So it's a kind of a win-win for everybody.
It is, exactly. I mean, we spanned in the conference 4 time zones. In the conference we were in, we spanned 4 time zones when you consider the football end of it and going to West Georgia. So we are going from Riverside, California with some of our sports all the way to West Georgia with football. And so now you look at it, and we all fit outside of a couple institutions right now up in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah. We're all in the same time zone, which just means that, you hit the nail on the head. The student athletes now are going to be sleeping in their own beds more. Yeah. And they're going to be on shorter bus trips, not a lot of time waiting in the airport, waiting for connecting flights, or even busing down to Las Vegas to catch a flight. The worst part about it is coming home from a road trip. You can imagine a basketball team, baseball team coming home from a 4 or 5 day road trip. You're getting in Las Vegas 11:30 at night, which is 12:30 a.m. our time, and then you got to get your stuff and get on a bus and come up the hill, and then go to school the next morning. Yeah. So this really helps us from that direction. The student athletes should be much better off because of that. And just again, we talk about our fans going and being able to visit some of these other institutions and watch us participate. The other fans are able to come to St. George now. Yeah. So you're going to see the larger fan bases come rolling through St. George when these teams come into play us.
And this is a major step up all across the board. First of all, regional rivalries, established conference in the Big Sky, happy to be there now. But with the new tower being built at the St. George Regional Airport, that's going to make it even easier. So the community, the school, all together, just stepping up in status.
Yeah, it matches. I tell people, the institution is growing at a similar rate to what the community is growing. And simultaneously together, both entities are really progressing and expanding the footprint, not only of recognition, but also notoriety. And so anyway, this just helps us along that path.
Now, in the landscape of college sports nowadays, there's negotiations and things changing all the time. Now, while there's been a lot of talk going on for probably the last year, this thing came down the pike pretty quickly. Can you kind of give us a rundown of when and why this took place now?
Yeah. So the NCAA has been chaos. We all know it's been chaos, and conference realignment has been no different than that. And you go through latent periods where there's not a lot not a lot being done or said, and then all of a sudden there's a move that happens. There's a domino that falls, which obviously a lot of more dominoes fall quickly thereafter. And we've been talking with conferences. Our focus has been on maintaining the WAC. We always felt that a strong WAC was a really good option for us here at the university. And as you could start to see some of the moorings start to come loose a little bit, we started reaching out to some other conferences. And then you're right, we talk with conferences, nobody's really interested. We have you on the map if something were to happen. You're trying to match up your sports sponsorship with other conferences as well. Mm-hmm. It's not just the geographic footprint, it's what sports do we have that match this other conference? Do they have a need? And we've been communicating with the Big Sky, and the Big Sky's been up front with us all along. Hey, we're not expanding right now. Yeah. We don't see a need to expand. Mm-hmm. Well, then the news at Sacramento State drops on everybody that they're leaving the Big Sky and joining the Big West in all sports except for football, and they're going independent in FCS football. And that started the wheels in motion with the Big Sky. And literally, it came down to from a lot of this happened in 48 hours. Yeah. I mean, now there's a lot of groundwork that was done, but getting right to the brass tacks, so to speak, it was about 48 hours or less, and wham, bang, here you are. But we were ready, they were ready, they knew who we were, we know who they are, and it made for a quick and easy marriage.
Well, back in 2012, you were athletic director of that other school, about 50 miles to the north. You put them into the Big Sky Conference.
Correct, yeah.
And now you're doing it again. You're a twofer. You're a two-timer.
So I got that this morning from a member of the Big Sky. They reached out to me and said, there aren't too many ADs that have brought two different institutions into the same conference in the history of the NCAA. So yeah, I'll take that. But again, I'm looking forward to getting back into the Big Sky and rekindling some good relationships and some friendships and working with them again. It's a class conference. Yeah.
Now, you've got some work to do between now and the beginning of the 2026 season. You got a couple of sports you got to find a home for, first and foremost.
Correct. Yeah, there are several of our sports that do not have a spot in the Big Sky Conference. Swimming we've already taken care of. You have baseball and you have men's soccer, and we've got some options out there for those sports right now. So yes, we have to find them some sound homes as well. I don't think that's going to take too much of an effort to do that. And then there's some things we have to do internally. The Big Sky with their film exchange, their software, coming from a WAC, it's a little bit different. We have to update that a little bit. Media rights, we have to work into that, and how the commercial inventory. So those are the things we have to do. Facility-wise, we're pretty much there. We have some nice facilities here. But yeah, there's some work to do. My wife asked me this morning, she says, do you feel a little relieved? And I go, I just shut one door on a bunch of issues and problems that I had, being able to fix with this announcement of the Big Sky Conference, and opened up another door of challenges now going forward. We're not going to be stagnant. We're going to be very aggressive on going forward and putting our institution in a good spot to be successful now in the Big Sky.
You touched on it a little bit earlier, but we got to give a big shout out to the WAC.
Right.
And for the UAC to bring football and to give us the opportunity to compete in football at a high level. But it's because of the WAC that we were in Division I, so got to give them and the UAC the props, because they were so great to us.
Yeah, and they've been good to us all along. The WAC have some great friends, lifelong friends that we've made in the WAC. And we've talked about it, and I'm going to say it again. If it weren't for the WAC, Utah Tech is not a Division I institution, flat out. Yep. They were the ones that invited us, and we needed an invitation from a bona fide NCAA Division I conference before you can even make that effort. and they gave us that opportunity. They welcomed us in with open arms right from the start. We always felt like we were welcome there, a good participating member of that conference, and wish them all well.
Game changer. Would you call today a game changer for Utah Tech?
Yeah, in some respects, game changer I think is sometimes often used, kind of as it overstates things a little bit.
Yeah.
But definitely, this is a pivotal moment in the history of Utah Tech University, and more specifically athletics, and for the community. I think the community is really going to stand to benefit from this as well.
All right, Ken, thanks.
Thank you.